So I did a community post a couple days ago asking of which of these two men's rosters produces the best quality wrestling matches between AEW's men's roster and NXT men's roster. Now, 14% voted AEW and 86% voted NXT, right? Overall, 7 votes, 7 voters. And most of you voted that NXT, that their men's roster produces the better quality wrestling matches. Now, I have a difference of opinion. I believe that AEW's males division completely outclasses NXT's male division, completely by a mile. Honestly, it's not even close. NXT's men's division is pretty subpar. And I'm not saying that they put on shitty matches every week. It's just that these are homegrown talent that's still developing. And a lot of those guys are not main event worthy. AEW, in my opinion, when it comes to the men's division, has more main eventers than NXT's males division. And I feel like Shawn Michaels has, not put a lot of effort when it comes to the men's roster as much as he's put more effort into the women's division. The women's division stands out completely when you watch NXT. Now, when it comes to the men's division, you don't see who can really replace a Cody Rhodes in the next 5-10 years. You don't know what guy can break out like a Jacob Fatu or a Braun Breaker. Because, not everybody can be a Jacob Fatu or a Braun Breaker. Or even a Carmella Hayes. Carmella Hayes could break out in the next couple of years. You never know. But Trick Williams and Obafemi have the most potential out of the entire men's division. And that's not good because Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, a lot of the main players right now, they're not going to be here forever. So that's why NXT exists the way it exists. It's a developmental system. And a lot of those guys in NXT, I just don't see any of them except for Trick Williams and Obafemi breaking out in the main event scene. And the wrestling matches they're decent, but they're not blowing you away. When it comes to AEW's men's division, they have the best male roster. Their male roster is packed with talent, ability, athleticism. You can expect a 5-star match from any of those guys on Dynamite and Collision. As overwhelming and as excessive as these matches in AEW and Collision can be on Dynamite and Collision on a weekly basis, we cannot lie and say that these guys don't go out there and put on the best match every week. The best quality wrestling. Okay, that's quality wrestling when it comes to the men's division. They get it done. As excessive as the wrestling can be at times, we can't deny that they just have the better talent than NXT does. NXT has more characters, more storyline development. And that's where Shawn Michaels' NXT thrives, on the women's side and the men's side. They completely outdo AEW in that entire department. But when it comes to putting on the best quality matches, wrestling matches, AEW has NXT beat. And that's a fact. So I was expecting more people to vote for AEW when it comes to the male roster. NXT has a very weak male roster. You look at AEW's male roster, it's not weak. They have a more superior roster all those guys can put on 5-star classic matches every single week. I can't say the same for an Eddie Thorpe. I can't say the same thing for a Trig Williams, a Wes Lee. I can't say the same thing for an Ethan Page or Alexis King. I don't see it that way. They'll thrive more when it comes to character development and storyline progression. And that's about it. They're decent workers, don't get me wrong, but I need to see more from the NXT men's roster. And that's why you have this TNA partnership. The guys from TNA can really boost the men's division of NXT. For example, Moose. Moose made a surprise appearance in NXT a week ago, confronting Obafemi. Now that right there, it shows a lot of potential. And that gives the men's roster an increase of credibility because Moose carries himself like a main event star. When you look at Moose, he's main event attraction, in my opinion. So one thing NXT is really lacking right now is putting on the best quality wrestling when it comes to the men's side. And they don't have a wealthy amount of potential main event stars like Trig Williams and Obafemi.